My name is Lauren, I'm 17 years old, and welcome back to the Classics in Color. Today is my fourth step on a 12-part journey of spotlighting the history of classical music and opera and its impact on the arts, culture, and society. Opera is the Italian word for work. An opera, like a play or story, is a dramatic form of theater that includes scenery, props, music, dancing, and lots of makeup and costumes. In opera, however, the actors are trained singers who sing their lines instead of speaking them. An orchestra accompanies these singers. A conductor coordinates the singers on stage and the musicians in the orchestra pit. Unlike musicals, opera singers do not use microphones to amplify or project our voices. Thanks to our training, we can project our voices so you can hear them anywhere in the theater. Also, the music, played by the orchestra, is completely live. Opera originated in Italy at the end of the 16th century. In 1573, a group of musicians and intellectuals came together to discuss various subjects, especially their desire to revive the classical Greek drama. This group of individuals is known as the Florentine Camerata. The members of the Camerata considered that the chorus parts of Greek dramas were originally sung, and possibly even the entire text of all roles were sung. So, opera was conceived as a way of restoring this form of performance and storytelling. Daphne by Jacopo Peri is considered the first true opera, as we understand it today. It was written around 1597 and was a part of the wider revival of characteristics seen during the Renaissance, focusing on the simplicity of tragedy. The first commercial opera house opened in Venice in 1637. With the success of Daphne, opera soon began to spread throughout the rest of Europe. Heinrich Schütz in Germany, Jean-Baptiste Lully in France, and Henry Purcell in England all helped to establish their national traditions in the 17th century. In the 18th century, Italian opera continued to dominate most of Europe, except France, attracting foreign composers such as George Friedrich Handel. In the classical sense, there are two types of opera. There is the opera buffa, or comic opera, and there is the opera seria, known as the serious or tragic opera. In the comic opera, Act 1, boy meets girl. Act 2, boy and girl fall in love. Act 3, boy and girl are separated. And Act 4, boy and girl find each other and everyone lives happily ever after. In the serious or tragic opera, Act 1, boy meets girl. Act 2, boy and girl fall in love. Act 3, boy and girl are separated. But in Act 4, boy and girl never find each other and everyone dies. One of the fascinating things about opera that I really love is the unique role that the human voice plays in telling the story. There are 6 major types of opera voices, 3 female and 3 male, and each voice has a specific role to play. First, for women, we have soprano, which is the highest female singing voice. Sopranos typically play the lead female character. Next, we have mezzo-sopranos, which are the middle female singing voice. They usually play the best friend or rival. Then we have the contralto, also called alto, which is the lowest female singing voice. It's usually an older female character possessing great wisdom or is the villainess. Now for the men, we have tenor, which is the highest male singing voice. Tenors tend to play the romantic interest or hero of the opera. Baritone is the middle male singing voice, which usually plays the unloved husbands or the villains. Many of the most exciting male roles in operas are sung by baritones.
I got my gal, I got my song, got him.
And lastly, we have the bass, the lowest male singing voice, which usually plays older and more powerful characters. So, why should you learn or study opera? Why not? Number 1, opera today is more popular than ever before. Number 2, staging and setting have become key elements of the storytelling. Number 3, there are a number of new contemporary operatic themes and more are being introduced every year. Number 4, great pieces are being reinterpreted and are successful with the newer audiences that they perform in front of. Thank you for joining me today for the fourth episode of the Classics in Color. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please tune in for episode number 5, where I'll continue to spotlight the various people who have shaped my love of classical music. Thank you so much, and tune in next time.